Hi, my name is Bruce Whitfield. This is Hwk10. This is a VHDL for the top level program that connects together the finite state machine, the money entered item return counter, and the item purchase counter. Right here is the entity for it, and the inputs and outputs are the inputs and outputs of the finite state machine and the two counters. Here's the architecture. Here's a component for the item purchase counter, and there's its inputs and outputs. Component for the finite state machine with its inputs and outputs, and component for the money entered item remaining counter and its inputs and outputs. Right here I'm instantiating the components and instantiating the IP counter, finite state machine, and the money entered item remaining counter. And that is it for the top level, so I will go over to the test bench. Alright, here's test bench. So the test bench, I have it set up, and the architecture is the inputs and outputs of the top level program. And here's a component created of the top level program with its inputs and outputs. And below it is me instantiating that component. And I start with process and I begin. And I start at 0 at the first rising edge. I enable reset. At the next rising edge, I disable reset, put a nickel in, and select 1, which is gum. Whenever we are in state, now we're in state 5, gum selected, so the item's been purchased. It'll go back to state 0. Okay, quarters being inserted, item 2 is being selected. So right here at the next rising edge, we will go to state 25. And item 2 is being selected. And so since item 2 is being selected, the chips are going to be outputted. And it's going to go back to state 0 right here, and a quarter is inserted. Item 3 selected, which is a soda. And so at this state right here is it's state 25, and it's the item purchased right there is a soda. And Q0, Q1, that says soda, and it's back at state 0. It's selected nothing, so it is just going to stay in that state. And so that's a test bench, and let's look at the waveform for it, the simulation. Alright, so when first rising edge resets enabled, current state is state 0, next state is state 0, items remaining is 7, and no change is being entered, C out, so that the money entered from the counter is 0. Item remaining from the counter is 7. And since it's reset, item purchased is not going to even be there yet. And so at the next rising edge, you're in state 0, reset's disabled. A nickel is being nickel is being inserted. And currently at this moment, no item is being selected. So now is in state 5, okay? And item 1 is being selected. And that means gum is being selected. And so, and nothing is being inserted when we're in this state. And so then, item remaining is still 7. Item purchased is 1 because you purchased gum, and that comes from the IP counter. And at this current moment over here, temp CL is 1, and so from the money entered, that's 1. And then, and so then item purchase is 1. And then at the next rising edge, we're in state 0, and quarter is being inserted, because quarter is being inserted right here. And item 2 is being selected, which is chips. And so the next day is state 25. Because we already purchased the item from the MEIR counter, items remaining are 6. No item is being purchased at the current moment because it's in state 0. And the money entered is 5, which stands for 25 cents. And then at the next rising edge, we're going to state 25. Quarter is still being inserted, so the next day is state 25. Because once it's state 25, it is going to go, because you've selected item 2, it's got enough money for it, and so it's going to go back to state 0, but a quarter is being inserted, so it's going to go to state 25 from state 0. So from state 25, because a quarter is being inserted, item is being selected, it's going to go back, it's going to go straight to state 25. And because another item is being purchased, the item remaining drops down to 5. Item being purchased, state 2, which stands for chips. Next rising edge, we are in state 25, and nothing is being inserted currently. I guess a quarter is being inserted. And, no, nothing is being inserted. And I currently have the select. I have select set to 4, which stands for soda. And we have enough money, because soda's 25 cents. So the items remaining went from 5 to 4. Item purchased is 4, which stands for soda. And the money entered is 0, because we didn't enter anything in this state. And that concludes it for the simulation. Thank you.